Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. Tonight, we've learned the man that law enforcement officers shot yesterday afternoon in Floresville has died. State troopers have identified him as Raimundo Flores. They say that he was a fugitive wanted for violating his probation. Guadalupe County records show that Flores had 2 evading arrest with a vehicle charges, one in July of 2021 and another one in May of this year. After months on the run, state troopers caught up to him in Floresville, but he took off. People who live in an RV park saw and heard the chase that followed. One witness says that Flores appeared to be mentally unstable.
He screamed out. The DPS trooper was trying to talk him down, like say, "Hey, buddy, we just want to talk to you. We want to get you out of this situation." And he yells out, "I'm suicidal," and fires at the cop 3 times.
Now, Texas Rangers continue to investigate what happened, and while police chased the suspect yesterday, Floresville High School was temporarily put on lockdown. No one else was hurt. Police say that a woman stabbed a man because he wasn't helping her with the bills. And now 30-year-old Cassandra Gutierrez is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Police say she got into an argument with a man, which then escalated. Investigators say that Gutierrez grabbed a kitchen knife and then stabbed the man several times. Officers found him with wounds to his neck, hand, leg, and back. He was rushed to the hospital. We are told that he's in stable condition. As for Gutierrez, she's now in jail on a $75,000 bond. From burglaries to murders, crime is up in San Antonio. The San Antonio Police Department says it went up almost 12% from January through October compared to the same time last year. Crimes against society, which include weapons and drugs charges, are up by just a smaller amount. Homicides also up. There's also a spike in property crimes like vandalism, burglary, thefts, and motor vehicle thefts. And that's really what's driven the overall rise in crime in the city. He denied being a driver, and now a Converse police officer isn't only facing charges for a crash, but also could be out of a job too. Police arrested 23-year-old Justin Alexander for DWI last Friday. San Antonio police say that he was involved in a single car crash on Applewhite Road near South Zarzamora Street. Police say that a witness saw his vehicle weaving through traffic before flipping several times into a ditch. Alexander told police that he was a passenger and the driver ran off. But a second witness told officers that he was the only person who was pulled from the vehicle. Now he's on administrative duty pending an internal investigation. Now that man right there facing charges accused of cashing in stolen lottery tickets. 38-year-old Jose Trinidad Patino is charged with claiming a lottery prize by fraud between $200,000 and $10,000. Police say that the tickets were taken during a burglary from Nassau Food Mart near Nassau and West Avenue back on September 17th. And 3 days later, the Lottery Commission told police that scratch-offs were cashed in at the QT on San Pedro near North Star Mall. According to police, Patino was recorded on video cashing in the stolen tickets 2 hours after the burglary. Officers caught up to him yesterday. He hasn't been charged with the burglary, but he is a suspect in other burglary and fraud cases. First, there was a dumpster fire, and within 30 minutes, part of a restaurant was on fire. Both were a mile apart on the northwest side, and San Antonio police say they're both just coincidence. The first fire happened just before 5 a.m. on Fredericksburg Road near the medical center area. The dumpster was on fire behind a dental office. A man nearby told police that he threw a cigarette into the dumpster. Firefighters put it out, but then moved to a second fire at Mirage Cafe. Officials say that fire started on the patio and then spread to part of the building. Now let's move forward. Here's meteorologist Adam Caskey with your forecast.
Have a jacket ready for tomorrow morning. Temperatures dipping down to near 40 degrees. I think about 41 around San Antonio. Some outlying areas into the upper 30s. By noon, we're only at 50 degrees. Low clouds keeping us cool. 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, high temperature of 55. So even cooler on your Thursday than what we had today. Friday, low clouds, fog, drizzle, dampness. Even Thursday night, we'll see some sprinkles. They'll come and go through the first half of Friday. Not amounting to much, but we'll see some activity. Warmer at 68. Saturday, an upside down day. Warm in the morning at 65. By the afternoon, we actually cool off because of a cold front into the upper 50s, and still gray, foggy, drizzly with some dampness periodically. And that's going to linger all the way into the early part of next week, but we do warm into the 70s by Monday.
One of the survivors of the recent deadly mass shooting at a Walmart in Virginia is now suing Walmart. In the $50 million lawsuit, employee Danya Prelo accuses Walmart of negligence. She claims the company knew the shooter had, quote, known propensities for violence, threats, and strange behavior. She was in the break room when investigators say the store manager went on a shooting rampage before killing himself. 6 victims died in that shooting spree. In a statement, Walmart says, quote, we are reviewing the complaint and will be responding as appropriate with the court. A bus full of migrants is now in Philadelphia after traveling from Del Rio. Officials there report that 49 of them arrived around 10 o'clock this morning. A welcoming facility is caring for the group. Officials say this is the 5th bus to arrive in Philadelphia this month. More than 300 busloads of migrants traveled to different parts of the U.S. since April to places like New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. The state's Department of Emergency Management says that Texas has spent about $26 million on those trips. VIA is honoring the late civil rights icon Rosa Parks, who was most known for her pivotal role in the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. VIA is now offering fare-free rides for Rosa Parks Day tomorrow, so people can ride for free on all bus, VIA trains, and VIA Link trips. Just show up or book a trip as usual. Rosa Parks Day is observed on December 1st because that is the day that police arrested her for refusing to give up her seat to make room for a white passenger. And that was 67 years ago tomorrow. Now here at KSAT, we want to extend a huge thank you and gratitude to our viewers for helping us not only reach a goal, but exceed it. Team KSAT has raised more than $26,000 for the No Shave November fundraiser. Pretty cool, right? The money raised is going to go to 13 different cancer foundations, and the money is going to be used towards research, prevention, and education. Now that today is November 30th, it is the last day to donate, so that 26,000 number could still go up. If you want a link to that, if you want to donate, head on over to KSAT.com. And again, we so appreciate the support for such a good cause. Tonight, there's new information on a trial for a treatment for Alzheimer's disease, and it shows potential. Mandy Gaither explains what the study found and why there are still some safety concerns.
For those affected by Alzheimer's disease, it's been a roller coaster ride when it comes to potential treatments. Weeks after another therapy disappoints in clinical trials, new information about another treatment that its drug makers say shows some potential.
That's maybe one of the first medication we have that's such a positive result so far. But we have to be cautious about it.
Dr. Bebek Tusi is lead investigator of Cleveland Clinic's side of the study of lecanemab. Phase 3 results on the medication published in the New England Journal of Medicine suggest that at 18 months, lecanemab was associated with more clearance of amyloid, a protein associated with Alzheimer's, and less cognitive decline.
This medication, if it's approved, it's going to be for very earliest stage of Alzheimer's disease.
But there are still safety concerns. About 6.9% of those who took lecanemab in the trial discontinued use due to complications, including reactions to the infusions and abnormalities on their MRIs, such as brain swelling and brain bleeding. Overall, there were serious adverse events in 14% of the lecanemab group and more than 11% of the group that got a placebo. The researchers say longer trials are needed to determine the safety and efficacy of this potential treatment.
Of course, we're trying to find a better medication, and that can only achieve it if more people show interest in participating in clinical trials.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the CDC says that about 6 million Americans are now living with Alzheimer's. Thank you so much for your company tonight. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. We'll see you then.